So, very great morning to all of you. First of all, I would like to offer my sincere thanks to management of Yashoda Technical Campus, Satara. Thanks to Director Dr. V.K. Redasni sir for being available for this program, for the inaugurations and just telling all the motivations which you are doing for your teachers, which already I have seen by visiting your college last time. Thanks to Dr. Kulkarni Madam also, she is so dynamic and taking due care of everything. So I can see her very much involved in all the activities and taking all the cares. And thanks to the coordinator of this program and all the organizing team members. And thanks to participant. So very great morning to all of you. In my session, first session, there are two sessions. If you'll see, today's workshop is divided into two sessions. And workshop is on effective generation of e-teaching learning resources. And there will be two themes. First session will be on virtual lab, how we can do experiments on the virtual lab. And not only how we can do the experiments on virtual lab, but also how we can use this in our teaching learning sessions very effectively to develop our students multidimensionally. Because whenever you attend any session on virtual lab, you will just see theoretical aspects of virtual lab. How many virtual labs are there and what is there and who invented and who created that. But you will not get hands-on experience on the virtual lab and you will not experience that virtual lab. So whatever we attend all these kinds of workshops or FDPs, I think there is no use of just attending. Unless and until we don't do something, we cannot learn. So learning by doing, always I focus in my any session, whatever it is FDP or workshop. So here you will experience today how you can perform experience on virtual lab. That will be the first objective. You should experience that. You should able to do yourself experiments on the virtual lab. And we will not limit up to that. But our intention is how to generate e-teaching learning sources. So when you will learn performing experiments on virtual lab, you should create it as your teaching aids. Because now we have seen 2 years of pandemic and 2 years of pandemic has forced us lot of challenges, lot of difficulties, how we can just involve our students, how we can make engage in the learning process. We ourselves started learning teaching and tools, online teaching and tools. So how we can generate these e-teaching learning resources which will be useful for our teaching and which will be also useful for the students learning, and that also using virtual lab. So my objectives of this workshop are very depth. So just you can see, you will able to justify objectives why to use virtual lab even if we are just performing experience in the conventional mode, offline mode. It is important that we should able to perform, and not only we, our students also should able to perform experiments online using online tools. And then learners or you will be also able to identify available virtual labs and video recorders, because second session will be on video recorders. So you will identify how many virtual labs are there, how many video recorders are there, which I should select, why I should select that, and how I should use that, and how I will implement it in my learning, teaching, learning process, how my students will be motivated, how students will do some creative work using those, and how we will use that creative work for our teaching next in subsequent batches. So creating laboratory manuals for experience on virtual lab, and this laboratory manual has to be audiovisual because we are learning online tools, we are using e-teaching learning resources. So manual should not be only on paper, but manual should be with multimedia and audio video tools. So that I will show you how we can create that. Then you will also able to develop self and lifelong learning skills. So I want to go beyond this. Just we should not able to use that labs in our teaching learning sessions, but we should able to develop our students self and lifelong learning skills, because whatever we just do in teaching class is never learning. Mind you, it's not the learning. Learning is the things which go hand in hand with the students for the lifelong after the class. So that lifelong learning skills, how we will develop using these two tools, virtual lab and the recorder. Then how the able learners will be also able to generate self-learning resources using virtual lab and screen recording. Self-learning means for might be our as a teachers and students. And then plan, design, implement pedagogical aspects of blended, active, collaborative, cooperative, experiential, peer-to-peer, whatever it is mentioned in the NAC or whatever it is mentioned as per NBA, because our focus, institute's focus is always for getting accreditation. So you can just see whatever is our role as a teacher is expanding day by day. And teachers say, why I should just do all these things, theoretical things, and creating data for ICT tool usage, creating data for the advanced learners, low learners, creating the data for these all types of learnings. But if we will make thoughtful planning, teaching plan, then everything is possible. So this is also possible. This is also possible. You name anything to me, mention in the NAC and mention in the NBA, I will tell you my records. And it is done very wisely and it is done very easily. It's not difficult. So I would like to share that hints to you so that every duties of you will be possible, and not only it will help for you, but it will also help for your institutes to grow and get the accreditation. So that are the objectives of the today's workshop. So first workshop is on just workshop. Today's first workshop is on effective use of virtual laboratory. So I will just start using virtual lab. Already I have requested that you will sit on the computer, use this, attend this session by using PC, laptop, desktop, not only on mobile, because on mobile you will not able to do effectively. So please sit on the laptop. So welcome to all of you in my session. Now, when I am saying virtual lab, in today's workshop, I am just going to use MHRD virtual lab. There are number of virtual labs for foreign countries also. Some are paid, some are also free. But we will focus on our Maharashtra means MHRD virtual labs, okay, which is an initiative of Ministry of Human Resources and Development under the aegis of National Mission on Education through ICT. So let us use this virtual lab. Now John Holt has said, learning is not the product of teaching. Already I told you, learning is not the product of teaching. Learning is the product of activity of learners. And therefore, day by day, accreditation is forcing us on these aspects. So we have to do activity in the class. Even if flipped classroom, if you'll see, concept of flipped classroom is different. Students will learn in home and students will do assignments and activities in the class. So let us see how we will do this activity in the class, means today's class also. So this is workshop is nothing but our class where we are learners now. So content of my workshop will be, first I am talking just discussing these contents. Then I will focus on outcome, because unless and until we don't see the outcome of any our activity, there is no meaning of doing that activity. So first let us frame, and I will tell you what outcomes I have framed for this workshop. Then I will introduce virtual lab. Then we will see importance of virtual lab. Then we will visit virtual lab and I will demonstrate you one experiment which you need to do that experiment, and then you will also see for your subjects. So please sit with your syllabus curriculum and hints for effective implementation. Then in the third part I would like to give how you can use this virtual lab effectively. Then we will see what are the different benefits of virtual lab, and then references I will give which you will just refer it after this session also, and then question answer session. So be ready, dear participants. Be ready for what? For winning. Be ready to win active participants. Let us see who will be active participant from your team. and then be ready to play games and competitions, and be ready to give fast and good responses. So whoever will give fast response throughout the workshop will be active participants. I will be declaring that. So let us see that. And the responses, if they are accurate and they are good, they will be smart participants. So let us see who is active participant from your team and who is smart participant from your team. So what are the outcomes of this workshop? So session outcomes, which I have framed, that I think that learners or participants will able to recognize the meaning of objectives of virtual lab. You will able to justify importance of virtual lab. You will relate the benefits of virtual lab as compared to traditional lab also. And then identify available virtual labs related to your course, which you are teaching in this semester or last semester or in your branch. Then perform the experiments on virtual lab and implement different strategies to enhance learning skills and curiosity level of students while using virtual lab. So before that, I would like to talk on the poll which I have taken before pre-workshop. So just actually I frame my sessions depending upon the situation of the participants, interest of the participant. Now, as the theme was decided by Kulkarni madam, there was no question of asking you what you would like to cover in the session. Topic was decided. So I just took a survey for your situation to frame up the session, up to what depth I should go, how I should go. So pre-session poll is here. Experience I had asked, what is the experience of the participants? So below 3 is 15%, and between 3 to 9 years, you can just see almost this is below 10 years. More than 10, 25. So here I am focusing on these aspects and also this, because this is also important. Whoever is having more than 10 years, I have now gone through all the your answers also, your names also, from which institute are you, everything I have noted. So I must take care of this 25% also who is having more than 10. So all we need to grow with this workshop. Okay. So that was from the last workshop responses branches. Here also I have seen many branches participants are there. Then it was asked whether you have conducted experiments on virtual lab. So 70% have not conducted experiment on virtual lab, but 30% has conducted experiments on the virtual lab. 40 responses I have taken in the morning. I just took it. Then how many experiments are mentioned in the syllabus of your course for teaching? Means virtual lab experiments. Okay. So you can just see one is very less, two you can just see it is not seen at all, then three also more than things, and more than three, 75% are saying more than three. So please check it. I am doubtful that whether your syllabus is mentioned with the more than three experiments or no, because majority are of you from Shivaji University. So please confirm me that. Refer your syllabus of this term or last term and just tell me that, because we don't have many virtual lab experiments. Okay, either one or two, and that was also started myself before 5 years back. I used to put in my syllabus, but not too much scope is given. But if it is given too much scope in your syllabus, then you must focus more on this. Then did you like performing experiments on virtual lab? Purposefully I had mentioned this question. While putting this question, I was aware. Now whoever has said that they have not performed any experiments on virtual lab, 75 no, means this 70% have not performed many experiments on virtual lab. I was knowing that many of these faculty will say yes, and that happened. Did you like to perform experiments on virtual lab? See how many has said yes. So here is the thing, how we teacher also do the feedback. And we always comment on the feedback of our students, how they fill up. We also fill up that way. So this is panic situation. We not read the question also. So please don't do that. I wanted to see whether anybody liked or saying no. Now this no percent means I don't know why they have said no. By performing, it was expected that they will say that could not experience because they have not performed. But what is meaning of this percentage? And what is the meaning of this percentage? I don't know. You justify me. Okay. So, do you record video for your course teaching? That also I had asked for the afternoon session, and you can just see only 22% record video for the course teaching. Okay, this is very poor situation. Even if 2 years we passed in online teaching mode, so we have to enhance this percentage. Okay. Now, this was also asked which recorder you use. Somebody has said great learning. Ask it. Whoever it is response, great learning. Ask what was the question. And please don't do such a work. It's my humble request to all the teachers. So, what is the meaning of great learning? Which recorder do you use? And camera. Okay, camera you can use it. But only one participant has said Bandicam, and that we will compare it. Which recorder I want to tell you? I will tell about the screencast o and I will tell you benefits over this also. Okay, this is also good one. So that then again question was asked because my objectives are up to at higher level that you should able to create learning resources, e-teaching learning resources, and that was asked whether you have which e-teaching learning resources you had developed for the course are you teaching. So Google Classroom, games, puzzles, mobile PC. Somebody has said nay, not yet. Neil, PPT. Okay, YouTube videos. Okay, so here I got the situation and how familiar are you in creating the e-learning resources. Okay, so see now this is the physical lab. Okay, we go in the lab and we perform the experiments. But there are different types of labs. Remote labs are also there, and these physical labs can be used remotely. Now, suppose you are having one lab in your Satara campus, and I want to use that your lab. So I can use it sitting here in Pune. So remote user 1, 2, 3 globally spread can also use this lab. Now we are sitting together. You are attending my sessions. Somebody is attending from Jharkhand also, Guwahati also. So very long spread. We are attending now sessions coming together, but yet we have not started doing this. But we should also see how we can use lab from the remote places. Okay. So a physical lab or simulator located remotely is assessed through the internet by several remote users. This is possible in foreign countries. It is started. But what are the objectives of the virtual lab? So objectives of the virtual lab, why MHRD just created that and just put up available, because objective was to provide remote access to the labs in various disciplines of science and engineering. So these virtual labs would cater students at undergraduate. So this is mainly designed for UG and PGLs, okay, research scholars. So you can just see, you can conduct experiments by arousing their curiosity, means sitting remotely or using virtual labs, and this would help them learning basic and advanced concept through remote experimentation, something different things. Means I am using Satara campus lab, so that is different aspects. I will enjoy that. No, I am enjoying sitting here taking sessions for all of you. So just similar to that, I will also enjoy by performing experiments wherever it is, wherever it is, and whoever it is the lab. So I will able to use that lab. I will excite and I will just develop my curiosity also, because it might not be available in my campus. So to provide a complete learning management system around virtual labs where the students can avail various tools for learning, including additional web resources, video lectures, animated demonstrations, and self-evaluation. See, what was the objective? Objective was to have students giving experience of video lecture, animated demonstration, self-evaluation, and to share costly equipment and resources. Suppose IIT labs, do have all the equipments. They are very costly. So why each engineering college has to purchase that equipment and resources? Why not sharing will be there? One lab can be shared by 10 colleges. So it was also one objective to share costly equipment and resources which are otherwise available to limited number of users due to constraints on time and geographical distances. So all these objectives were there for the virtual lab. Now, what are the salient features of virtual lab? So you can just see salient features. So you can use virtual lab anytime, anywhere. Anytime you can sit and you can start using that virtual lab. Then they are free to use. No cost is there, but they some paid labs are also there. So that's why I'm considering MHRD. So free to use. Then accessible through internet on any PC, laptop. So on any laptop PC, you can access it through internet. On mobile also you can access, and surprisingly even on your smartphone. That is the important things. On mobile also you can use, tablet also you can use, and then develop the self-learning mode. So this is very interesting that virtual lab gives facility to learn myself, self-learning. So this is the self-learning resources. I can just increase my self-learning skills. Learning to learn. Self-learning means learning to learn. How to learn? Learn that. And that will go lifelong with you. So that will be possible through virtual labs. So whatever I am learning theoretically, I can open virtual lab and I can visualize exactly what is happening. And I can strengthen my theoretical concepts. Not only practical experiment performation, but to strengthen theoretical concepts also, we can use virtual lab. Then innovative experimentations. Okay, learning beyond syllabus. Or if suppose it is not mentioned in curriculum few experiments, then equipments will be not available in the lab. So I can use that experience beyond syllabus. Some innovative experiments I can do it. And over 100 virtual labs have already been developed and many are being in the development mode. So, what are the types of virtual labs? So, you can just see here modeling and simulation based labs are there, measurement based labs are there, remote triggered laboratories are there. So, you can just go to closer and go closer to the reality if you will jump from simulation labs to the measurement base. Actually, you will measure something, and then you can again go to the reality when you will remote trigger lab. Means you will just trigger the lab sitting here at any place, physical data, which I told you initially. So these are the things, and scalability of the lab will just decrease from this to this. Okay, so simulation is very simple. We cannot go too much to the reality, but when I will start actually measuring some devices and will start parameter measurements, so the reality will be near and near. And if I will tap remote labs and I will control the lab sitting here, then really it will be real to the things. Okay. What is the importance of virtual lab? So if suppose equipments are not available in my lab, I can use virtual lab. If equipments are available but have limited access, because see, I cannot go after 6 o'clock in my college. Cannot experiment before. Suppose tomorrow I want to take new experiment and I want to have practice and I will not get time. Then I don't have access to use it at my pace and at my required time. Not even students. We are conducting experiments for the students, but students are remaining absent, and then how they will perform the experiments, we have to arrange one day. That one day also students never come, but if lab will be accessible to the students, they can see. So this virtual lab is possible. With virtual lab it is possible, I can just use it, experiments I can see, I can just have demonstrations. So virtual lab, you can see it don't have any limited access. It's open always 24 by, you can just see 365 days. So lack of expensive high end equipment. Our colleges or institute, it's not possible, day by day syllabus is changing and again to bring it immediately, time is required. So sometimes we don't have additional experience also. If 12 experience are mentioned, we have 10 or 8 facility. that we can fill up with costly equipments are there. We can use that experiments on virtual lab. Safety issues are there. Now I am a high voltage specialist. I just conduct high voltage experiments. So number of experiments, number means almost all experiments in my lab are at a high voltage, 80 kilovolt at least, 60 kilovolt at least. So I'm not allowing my students to perform that experience. I am just demonstrating them. And students cannot perform due to the safety issues, because if small mistake will be there, then it will be hazardous. Lot of hazardous things will be there. So if such a safety issues are there, then virtual lab is very. So now I just teach my students virtual lab high voltage experience. All students are able to experience that, conduct themselves, watch themselves. So hazardous environment are also there. So these are the importance of virtual lab. Then lack of operating knowledge, because suppose equipment will be coming in my lab, I may not have knowledge immediately. That will take time to train myself. At that time, virtual labs will be useful. Trained persons we don't have in our college, no technicians and no teachers are trained. At that time, virtual lab will be very important. Then theoretical test concepts, we can just test it. Then become familiar with real world hardware. Now, this is happening in foreign countries. Internship foreign country universities have started. Just company to company are available to the students to assess remotely, and they are just doing internship sitting at their home and just controlling and watching, going through the companies equipments and design and testing. So they are just becoming familiar with the real world with this virtual lab concepts, means virtual companies and virtual internships. Okay, it's not there in India yet, but see, in virtual lab you can just experience real world hardware, what is that. And then for immediate reinforcement of learning, I have learned something and I can reinforce that learning with the help of virtual lab. That is also the importance of virtual lab. So now let us go and visit to the virtual lab. Now you are learning by doing exercise first is started. You be ready. We'll go now in virtual lab. Okay, so just go to www.vlab.co in. All of you, just go in www.vlab.co in. Now see, here I can also go to the virtual lab. I have to come outside the window and then I have to type. You need to do this, www. Go to your google.com, your any search engine, google.com. And then see virtual lab. Type virtual lab. So you go VLab.co in. All of you do www.vlab.co in. Whether you have reached to this virtual lab,
Yes, ma'am.